You're about to enter the world of Strawberry Ice and the Ice Cave. Let's go! Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, the Iceman, Jeff Trenopole, and as always, I'm bringing you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio, home of Nick Castellanos and the Cincinnati Reds. Now do me a favor. If you found the show, hit that like and subscribe button. Smash that thumbs up. We're at 1,237 subscribers. That is unbelievable. As always, I appreciate every single one of you guys. That is awesome. Let's keep it rolling. Let's try to get to 10,000 as fast as we can. Yeah, I'm just shooting for it. I'm like, 2,000 is the next goal, but really, I want to get to 10,000. We get to 10,000. I'll give away a jersey. I'll give away something. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to give away. Well, I think we'll give away a jersey. I don't exactly know how I'm going to do it, but give me the 10,000 and make me figure that out. Now, we're doing Super Chats again today on the YouTube channel, and there should be a link at the top of the page to do live video chats with me today since Jeremy D is unable to join me. Now, as you may or may not know, if you're a regular viewer to the show or a regular listener on the podcast, you know that this show and every show is brought to you by T Properties. T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out their website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. All right, guys, the Reds lost a tough one last night, 5-4. Tony Santillan pitched his butt off for 3 innings. I mean, he threw 75 pitches in 3 innings. But he fought and fought and fought. He kept the Reds in it. Jesse Winker got him with a run. With a 2-run shot, they lost 5-4. The bullpen, if you want to nitpick, if we had a shutdown bullpen, which I wish we had, those 2 runs that the bullpen let in, what obviously wouldn't have happened, and the Reds would have won the game. But they did. But you also can look at it this way: if Santillan doesn't make a throwing error to third base, and eventually that led to another run, the Reds might have won. So the Reds are so close to being a really good team. They're just, it's frustrating. It's fun to watch, but it's also frustrating at the same time. Now, Tony Santillan was rewarded today by getting sent back down to AAA, and the Reds are bringing up Ashton Gurdeau back up. Basically, they need bullpen help. Sonny Gray is coming off the disabled list. I think he's going to make the start Friday, I think. I'm doing it off the top of my head, so I'm not exactly sure. So we got some other good news, though, that Michael Lorenzen this is from friend of the show, Charlie Goldschmidt, Michael Lorenzen could be pitching into rehab games before the All-Star break, which that's here pretty quickly. And David Bell says he will be in 1 inning, stints. And obviously Lorenzen is heading to the bullpen. So very good chance after the All-Star break. Lorenzen will be back. We're getting some help in the bullpen. So let's see what's going on in the chat before we get into this thing. Marvin, you love the intro. Thank you very much. I worked on that. I made that for when Ken Raleigh the second was on here. And I like to play it as much as I can because, one, we need to put Ken Raleigh in the Hall of Fame. Two, I want to remind everybody, he's 5th all-time in the NFL interceptions. Still. Crown, can you say you were wrong? Sure. What were you wrong about? You can absolutely tell me you're wrong. I love it when people tell me they're wrong. That usually means that I'm right. Arrow, what's going on, brother? What's going on? Natty, you're back. Hey, buddy. Long time no see. Long time no see. What's going on, John? Hello to everybody out there. Let's see. Arrow says he would join you. He would join me, but he's at the doctor right now. Oh, getting your hand looked into. Oh, all right. Well, I hope your hand, I know you were telling me about that a couple of weeks ago. So hopefully your hand is all better. And Crown says, yes, Friday. What are you saying yes, Friday about? I'm confused, Crown. I don't know what yes, Friday means. Oh, here we go. Hunter Green needs more. Oh, he means yes, Friday that he's going to, Sonny Gray's going to start. I got you. Never mind. Hunter Green needs more time in the minors. You're right. I agree with you. For once, we agree. Okay, here. John, a quick question. Who has a better season, Awuzie or Waynes? Who has the potential to have a better season because he's a better athlete is Awuzie. But that's up in the air. Hopefully they both have great seasons, and we'll get to enjoy it. Let me finish this red stuff here real quick, and then I will get into the Bengals because I know I titled the show to see what ESPN ranked the Bengals. Let me finish this real quick. Now, this is one of the other things that Joe Lugup, if you guys don't follow him on Twitter, you should. He's a great follow with lots of different information. But as you can see, the Reds are 9-19 versus the NL West. Versus the rest of everybody else, they're 30-20, 10 games above 500. Well, the NL West is probably the best division in baseball. So there's lots of teams that do that good against them. Now let's look at this here. The Reds are currently 7 games out in 3rd place. The reason they're so far out is Milwaukee is 9-1 in the last 10 games. They are on a streak. Now the Reds went on a similar streak, the week before I went on vacation. And now the last 10 days have been 4-6, but the Cubs are 3-7. St. Louis is 4-6. I think they're 5-7 or 5-6 now because they just won today. So this is my point. We're still in it. Milwaukee, 7 games is not where I wanted to be at the All-Star break. I wanted to be like 5 or 4 games. But it's getting time where the Reds have really got to start putting another winning streak together to get this thing going, to get this thing close would be nice. They're a very talented team. Like I've said before, the bullpen is not that good. Lorenzen's coming. They're getting some help. They need more help. We'll see what happens. Let's get into the Bengals here. Oh, Jeezel. Yes, my wife is still in Florida. There she is. Just go Lightning. Game 2 tonight. Tampa Bay all the way. Yeah. Yeah, game 2 tonight for the NHL. The Tampa Bay Lightning are up 1-0. And they're probably, in my opinion, going to absolutely destroy the Canadians because Tampa Bay is more talented than the Canadians are. But I don't really think anybody watching my show right now really wants to hear about hockey. So that's why I don't talk about it. Arrow, do you see Milwaukee coming back to earth? Yes, I do, because they're doing the exact same thing that the Reds did before one vacation. They're on a hot streak, and this division is not as they're all very similar teams. I don't really think anybody from this division is really going to be a World Series contender, to be honest. I mean, I honestly think if the Reds had a shutdown bullpen and an actual shortstop, they could. But those are two gaping holes that the shortstop, they probably aren't going to fix. Bullpen, hopefully they can fix. But Milwaukee also, they're good. They have a better bullpen than we do, but their starting pitching isn't as good as ours, I don't think. So, yes, I do think Milwaukee can come back down to earth. It's just the Reds got to get on a consistent winning streak. And they struggle. For some reason, they struggle out west. And it's not only San Diego. They struggle against Arizona. They struggle against Colorado. Those are two teams they should destroy. And they've been struggling. So, what? JT, tell Fred's wife to make dinner and stop working so I can watch your show. What is this? Fab 5. JT, tell Fred's wife to make dinner and stop working so I can watch your show. All right, man. Fred's wife. I'm not telling anybody's wife that. Don't get mad at me. I am been married to this woman for 24 years. I am not about to tell anybody's wife what to do. Yes, Canada versus USA. USA. All right, let's get into what ESPN said and ranked the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, I don't think it's bad. I mean, I wish I could argue with what they're saying, but I really can't. They got us ranked 24th in football. Now, they say the biggest strength is Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, and hopefully they can do what they did in college. Chase caught 24 of the 36 passes in which Burrow targeted him 20 or more yards down the field that year. 14 of those receptions were touchdowns. As a rookie last season, Burrow completed just 9 of 48 passes, 20 more yards down the field. Now, there's a couple reasons because of that. One, we didn't have a huge downfield threat. T. Higgins was our best downfield threat, and our offensive line stunk. Now, Cincinnati will be hoping that the NFL reunion between Burrow and Chase will help solve some of those deep passing woes. Chase, Higgins, Boyd, oh my, are one of the league's better wide receiver trios on paper. My opinion, by the end of this season, they're going to be the best. Top. All right, maybe not the best. I say between top 5 and top 2 or 3. In my opinion. And I'm not the only one. There's experts that are predicting that they are going to break records. Now, the thing is, what I'm most concerned about is the defense. We got to get Lua Armadillo has got to step up this year. This is a huge year for him and a huge year for Zach, but more for Armadillo because this defense has been god awful, and it was god awful before he got here. And they could score 30 points a game, but if the other team scores 36, it doesn't really matter. The defense has got to at least be capable of getting guys off the field because the way to beat the Bengals this year is keep Joe Burrow on the offense on the sideline. So our defense has got to step up. This has got to be a big year for Lou. It's put up or shut up time. I think James Rapine or Jake Lisco said, by week 8, we'll know what kind of team we got and what kind of season it's going to be. Hopefully by then we're 8-0. That would be awesome. Let's see here. Let me get back to the chat. I'm trying to keep up with the chat and have the conversation here. Is that a Trey Young Cy Young hat? What, this? No, this is just a Cincy hat. Or I don't know which hat you're talking about, Arrow. Not sure. Who day? 24th is better than most power rankings. Yeah. I mean, I can't, I'm not upset about it. I'm really not. I'm usually come on here and I'm like, oh, they don't know what to talk about. But 24, they really can't disagree with it. I mean, let's just go in our own division. And yes, I have us at 11-6, but let's go on paper. The Clowns and the Ratbirds have more talent than we do. That doesn't mean that they're going to beat us every time. I still think the Bengals have a chance to beat them. I mean, like I said, I have a split with everybody in the division. If you guys ever see my predictions for the offseason. But if you look at it that way, because Baltimore and Cleveland have two of the best offensive lines too. And I think our offensive line is going to be a lot better than people think. So just put that in perspective. They're ranked way higher than us. Now, the one I did have a problem with, and I didn't copy this, and the only reason I think they did is because of Mike Tomlinson. They had the Steelers at 16th, talent-wise. Really? I mean, their offensive line is worse, way worse than ours. They got one starter from their offensive line last year. That's it. And they drafted a running back with their first-round pick, which is a great running back. But as us Bengals fans know, you can have a great running back, but if you don't have an offensive line, it's really hard to run the ball. So the reason I think ESPN did that is because Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season. I think it's about time he had a losing season. I think he deserves one. I think the Squealers deserve a losing season. I think the fans deserve a losing season, at least for once. All right, let's see here. Let's get into it. You guys are blowing the chat up. I love it. Let's see. What is going on, Natty? They just need the defense to be average and get Joe the ball. Yeah, I agree with you, Natty. And Natty, my point is, I think as long as they can be as good as the 05 defense. Now, the 05 defense was very opportunistic. They got lucky in some of these things. I mean, they got the ball turned over a lot. But there was no stud. I mean, I know I always forget his name. The linebacker, not David Pollock, the other one, who had the drug problems and only had 1 year. He was really good that year. He was a difference maker on the team. That's one thing that they need to find out on this defense. Who is going to be a difference maker? Is Logan Wilson? Put it this way. They need Logan Wilson to make that jump, to be that difference maker, because he's going to be running the linebackers this year. So I really do think they need him to step up. They need Henderson. We need him at 13 sacks again. That's what they're paying him to do. He needs to get 13 sacks. Osai, Sample, these guys, these rookies, we need them to step up. Stop the run with DJ Reader. And that's the thing, too. I'll bring this up. They said with the, let's see, where is it? Is this it? No, wait, X Factor. Here it is, X Factor. Now, this is one I thought was kind of interesting. DJ Reader and Trey Waynes. They played 259 defensive snaps combined. Combined meaning all of them were DJ Reader because, Trey Waynes never played. Those two were our two big free agents we signed last year, and we barely got to see. We never saw Trey Waynes play. DJ Reader got to play a little bit. Those guys have got to have big years for us. And I really do think they will, because they were good players before they got hurt, and neither one of these injuries are career-changing injuries, So if they're healthy, they can make an impact. So the thing I like is the outlook that it looks like. Everybody is bought in, and if it looks like it, and it's not just for looking at it, they all showed up at OTAs. So that's a good thing, even for defensive guys. If Lou Armadillo is such a bad defense corner, like, I'm not sold on him, but they're still going to keep getting free agents to come in here and play for him. I know they're paying him, but if you don't like the scheme and you don't think you can succeed in it, I don't care how much money they pay you. You're most likely, especially if you're in the prime of your career, you're most likely not going to sign with that team, because you're not going to excel. You're not going to improve. You're not going to be able to get to your next contract if you don't believe in the system and don't believe in what they're doing. So all these guys believe in Armadillo. They believe in Zach. They believe in what they're doing. And those are all good signs. All right, let's see here. Let's get back in here. Hold on a second here. I did that one. All right. Marvin, what's up? Armadillo, when when Phillip Rivers comes back from 20 points, dude, I know. That's the game, dude, that drives me nuts. And that's where I have a hard time believing in Armadillo. I want to. I want him to do good. But I've said it a million times on here when I keep seeing the tight ends, the running backs, everybody running wide open right over the middle of the field and Phillip just flipping the ball to him. And we got no pressure. And that hopefully will change this year because I think we got 4 guys that can rotate and get pressure on the quarterback this year. Arrow, what do you got? Trevor Bauer. Sorry, I thought there was a space between Cincy. Oh, it just says Cincy. Plain Cincinnati hat. Yep, I got that at the airport a couple years ago. Natty, what's going on? All right, the Steelers get the benefit of the doubt because the Squealers usually win a lot of games. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I understand that. I don't like it. I understand why they're doing it, but it's mostly because the head coach hasn't had a losing season. It's hard to bet against him when he hasn't had a losing season, you know? Aisha, I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm trying to keep up the good work. I don't have any guests here. I apologize because I was on vacation, so I started working on trying to get some more guests today. But we do have our first live video chat, and it's none other than TC. What's going on, Thomas?
What's going on? Give me a minute. I got stuff going on in the other room. I wanted to jump on. Pardon me. I don't know what you were talking about. I just got your notification that you went live for some reason.
Yeah.
So, what I seen the video of the Bengals. Is that what we're talking about?
I'm talking about Bengals, Reds, whatever you want to talk about, brother.
Okay. Well, in that case, can I ask you something about the Bengals?
Sure. What's up? Yeah, go ahead. What's up?
Well, first of all, I just want to say, my opinion, I don't care what anybody says. With Joe Burrow, we're going to win a Super Bowl. I don't care what nobody tells me.
I'm with you on that, brother. I agree with you.
I'm just not so sure about Zach Taylor. That's all.
I'm more worried about Armadillo than I am Zach because, and I'll put it to you this way. If he can't coach like people say he can, then why in the hell did he take Ryan Finley, who is an absolute horrible quarterback, and devise a plan to beat the Steelers? Now, I know the Squealers were not a very good team, but that was a hell of a coaching performance right there. So I will give it to him for that. Plus, the other thing, people get mad at Zach that he didn't run the ball. And I've said this. I mean, Jeremy had this conversation during the season. I'm like, last year, they couldn't run the ball. The offensive line was terrible. The best thing this offense did was Joe Burrow, 3-step drop, get the ball out. And they were doing that at a frenetic pace. That's why he was having 400 yards. That was why they were having offensive success, because that's what they were doing, and they were doing it very well. So Zach knew that's what they could do, and that's basically all they could do. And I do think if Joe didn't get hurt, Jackpot Joey did not get hurt, I got feeling the Bengals would have won 8-8. I mean, I can't remember what I was predicting at the end of the season, but I had a lot more wins. I mean, I think we would have won the Washington game that he got hurt in. We would have won that one. There's a couple other games we would have won if Joe Burrow's in there. So, and that changes the narrative too. If Joe Burrow doesn't get hurt, and we have, say we win the last 3 out of 5 games or 4 out of 5 games in the season, then that gives everybody a good feeling about Zach Taylor and we're going in the right direction and yada, yada, yada. The thing that really sucked is the last game of the year, I think they were all done against Baltimore. We got our ass kicked. I don't even think they cared. I think they were all just done. And that's the last thing we have. But if Joe Burrow's in there and we're cooking like that offense was, because the passing game was going very, very good when Joe was in there. I think it's a totally different thing. But if that happens, we don't get Jamar Chase. So that's where I'm kind of like, we went through that year, but that's where I'm very confident that we're going to have a really good offense. I'm just not so sold on the defense yet.
Well, I mean, I can't compare, what do you call him? Armadillo? Is that what you call him?
Yep.
I mean, obviously can't compare him to Zimmer or nothing because
Well, I'm not comparing. I'm not comparing him to Mike Zimmer either. Mike Zimmer's one of the best defensive coordinators in football. That's why he's a head coach now. I mean, I'm not. Look, I call him Armadillo for a reason, man. I don't think he's that good. I'm hoping he will be. I'm saying this is the year. He's got all his guys in. All these guys are bought in. They're all showed up. They signed to play here, so they believe in whatever he's telling them to do. They think it's going to work. So if it don't work, he's gone for sure.
But if it doesn't work, Zach might be gone too.
Hey, it might be. You never know. I mean, we'll see. I mean, I think the first one. I mean, honestly, my first one is they're going to get rid of the defense coordinator. Because I mean, look at it this way. Remember a couple years ago, the second last year of Marvin, we all thought Marvin was going to get fired. They fired the defense coordinator in the middle of the season, and Marvin started calling the plays.
Yeah.
So just going by past history. The first one to go is probably going to be the defense coordinator, especially if they're, if the offense is scoring, say the offense is scoring 40 points a game and the defense is giving up 45, are you going to fire the Zach Taylor or are you going to fire the defense coordinator? What's the problem? Is it the offense or the defense?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not going to say I like him because there was moments last year where first of all, some of the play calling was terrible. Sometimes it was just,
On Zach?
No, on what is his name? Manarumo or whatever.
And Armadillo, yeah. I mean, dude, he was dropping back Carlos Dunlap in the coverage, dropping back Carl Lawson in the coverage. I mean, those are things they don't do. The thing is now he has guys who can do that, I mean, my problem with him was you have guys who don't do that, and you're asking them to do that. A good coach would make adjustments to put his players in the best position for them to succeed. If they succeed, then your team succeeds. If you're making them do what you want them to do, and one, they don't believe in it, two, they don't think they can do it, three, they prove to you they can't do it, but you're still making them to do it anyway, that doesn't make any sense. And that, to me, is what Armadillo did a lot. He didn't coach to what his players could or could not do. But now I think he's got the players to do what he needs them to do in his scheme. So that's where I'm not saying he's going to have a great year. I have no idea. I'm just saying this is the best and most talented and the most talented team that to do what he's trying to do, because what he's trying to do is trying to have a morphing defense, where he wants to be able to whatever that team does well, like say you're playing the Clowns. They run the ball like crazy. Like same thing with the Ratbirds. They run the ball like crazy. You want Baker Mayfield. You want to make Baker Mayfield. You want to make oh geez, I hate when I forget people's names. What's the Ravens quarterback name? Lamar Jackson. You want to make Baker Mayfield and Lamar Jackson beat you. You want to make those guys throw the ball because they're not the greatest of throwers. They're not Joe Burrow. I mean, they're good. They could beat you that way. They do. But they can run the ball like crazy. So if you can stop the run on them and make those guys beat you, I think you got a better shot of winning. And that's what I think he's going to try and do. That's his philosophy.
Right. I do want to say one thing. Lamar Jackson, maybe it's just me. Two things, actually. I want to say something about Joe. But first, Lamar, he runs the ball. He's going to do what RG3 did. He's going to keep running. He's going to get hurt, first of all.
Eventually, yeah.
And the thing I wanted to say about Joe is I don't want to be the fan that's, hating on a team, but that was a bad injury he took. I really hope, he's still the same player.
Did you watch any of this? Did you watch any of the videos at training camp?
I've seen it. I got to see it. I got to see it game one, which he said, let me see game one.
I'll put it to you this way. Nobody thought he would be ready for OTAs, let alone running around throwing the ball. I mean, the last day of OTAs, he actually ran out of the pocket and threw on one leg. That's a pretty good sign. I think he's going to be all right. Now, he's got to get his first hit and get all that stuff out of the way. We're not really going to know until the first game. But there's a good dude, I would put it past him if he takes at least one series in the preseason. I know he wants to. Now it's up to the Bengals, Mike Brown, and Zach Taylor if they let him do it. Joe said he would like to, but he's at 80-85% with his knee right now. So, I mean, he's going to be, by the time the first game of September hits, he's going to be like 10 months away from surgery. And they said it's a 10 to 12-month recovery. So he's going to be awful damn close to, the time that they say it takes to recover. I think he's already ahead of the schedule. Nobody thought he'd be doing what he's doing. I mean, so I think he's going to be perfect fine. Because, I mean, and I know people always want to blame Carson Palmer's knee for how he wasn't as accurate of a passer afterwards. To me, that's not true. When his accuracy went down is when he hurt his shoulder in Cleveland and he opted to not get surgery and he rehabbed it. He was never the same. He never could throw the ball the same. And that was like 2 years after he hurt his knee. So that's where I always put it to that. But we'll see what happens. Like I said, we'll never know until we start.
Right. Well, I guess I'll get off here. I don't want to take up your whole show. So
all right, brother.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, TC, you got your show. You still doing it, or you? Because TC, he's actually started his own YouTube show. So I don't know when you're doing it.
Right now, I'm in Florida. Right now.
I was just there.
Yeah, I know. Funny. This has nothing to do with show. Let me just mention this. You were at the Skyline thing.
Yeah.
I was there like last week.
Oh yeah.
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 But it's Cincinnati Sports Talk. That's all it's called right now until I get a title. But you can check me out. Coming up whenever I do a video, probably about next month when I'm coming back. So about then.
Sounds good, brother. I'll keep an eye out for it.
All right, thanks.
All right, TC. See you, man. All right, let's see here. Aaron, you got a couple things. Let me go. This is the Bengals thing first. He will be out there, Series 1 of the Miami preseason game. That's an orange arrow lock, baby. Woo! Arrow, I wouldn't put it past him. I mean, I don't know. Look, if it's me, I'm like one series at the most. I'm more like maybe wait till the season starts, but I do understand why Joe would like to get out there, knock the rust off, get into game situations. Maybe I know he'd like to get that out of the way. So we'll see what happens. I don't know, but I would not put it past Joe Burrow to be out there sometime in the preseason. I don't know about the first game. That would be, dude. Everybody be fired up if he's. The thing is, though, if he does it, I would like his first one. If you can only do one series, at least do it in the jungle so we can cheer him. That would be cool. All right, Chris, what's up? They're going to put 30 points a week. Burrow's ready, no doubt. Yeah, I agree with you. John, you love that. I love that too. I think that's what I'm saying. I'm not worried about the offense. My concern is the defense, and it's not even talent-wise. I think we have a talent enough defense with the guys they've drafted and the guys they've signed to be a good defense. A good enough defense. Like Natty says, they don't have to be a great defense. And I've said this a million times. They don't have to be a great defense. They have to be a good one. This offensive line doesn't have to be great. It has to be good. But I really do think this offensive line is going to be a lot better than people think. I think two reasons. I think Jonah Williams, bold prediction, I think he's going to have a Pro Bowl season this year. Spain, my boy, I think he is going to get back to his, maybe not Pro Bowl, but very daggone close to his Pro Bowl seasons. You get those two in there. You got the Great Barrier Reef in there. I'm not worried about him. I'm not going to predict everybody making a Pro Bowl, but he's going to be good. I think Jackson Carman's going to be fine. That's why I think our offensive line is going to be better than what people think it's going to be. Now, it's all on paper, and that's where everybody's like, well, we can't sit there and say it's going to be this because we haven't seen him play. So that's the whole thing. John, is that game nationally televised? Which game? The Miami game? Is that the one you're talking about? The preseason game? I don't know. I'm not for sure on that. Natty, just want the Bengals to win games so I don't have to be miserable at the end of the season. Me too, brother. Me too. Oh, because like I said, I got my season tickets. I'm going to be down there in the Tiger Den, section 158. We should be rocking and rolling. I think I really do. I think we're going to have a really good season. I think we're going to shock some people. I'll tell you the difference between why I'm so optimistic about the Bengals and I'm so frustrated with the Reds. All right. yes, there's still holes. There's still things the Bengals could do. They could have got a little better offensive line. Yeah, they could have got some better guys. They could have got a little deeper at the linebacker position. You could have signed Carl Lawson and Hendrickson. I mean, you could have done something. You could have added a little bit more. But I think they have talent, and they have deep talent at every position except for the linebackers. That's the one that still scares me. So there's no ginormous hole in this team. We're not looking for – I would love them to play great. If they play good, we have a great – our offense is going to be great. Our offense is going to be one of the best offenses in the league. If they do that, everybody else just has to be good. We can put up as many points as I think the Bengals can. The rest of it just has to be good. If they can be better than average, that's even better. That's icing on the cake. So like I said, there's no gaping hole in this team. The Reds, there was two. The shortstop, where they literally did nothing. They didn't have a shortstop. They moved a third baseman over to shortstop. They did nothing to get a shortstop. They did nothing to fix the bullpen. They actually took away from the bullpen. They signed Doolittle, but I would rather have Iglesias or Archie Bradley, to be honest. So that's why I'm so optimistic about the Bengals, and I'm so frustrated with the Reds. Because the Reds, if they had done anywhere close to what they did the last 2 years in the offseason, we'd be in second or first place. I wholeheartedly believe that. Because things have actually worked out for the Reds. Sonny Gray has not pitched very good. He's been hurt. Luis Castillo, I do that every time. Luis Castillo is just now starting to pitch like Luis Castillo. We had two rookies come up and pitch really good for us. That doesn't happen every year. Those are the things that has to happen for you to have a championship team. You got to get lucky sometimes. You got to have depth. And when you come to the season with two huge holes, most of the time that stuff doesn't happen. That's why it's so frustrating. We've had injuries. I mean, Moose has been out for a month and a half? And the offense is still cooking. We're not really missing him. I mean, I want him back, but we're not really missing him. That's what's so freaking frustrating. It's like if they just done a little bit, they didn't do anything, just a little bit. Go get a shortstop. Go get two arms in the bullpen. Go get something. Anyway. All right, let's get back into this. John. Frank Pollock is a huge upgrade. Yes, he is. We legitimately have one of the worst O-line coaches in the last 2 years. Yes, we did. John and I bagged on him, Turner, at the beginning of the year last year because I'm like, I kept saying, I hope he's right. I'm like, I hope he's right. I hope I'm wrong. But I don't see how this offensive line is going to be all that good. Well, I think Bobby Hart is a swinging gate. I think he's terrible. You can go back to my shows. If you go back, I got them all dated or whatever. Preseason or, probably by this time last year, that I'm not sold on this offensive line, and none of us were. But they kept thinking that Turner was going to be he was this great guru or whatever. I don't know. I still, to this day, don't know why they kept him because the offensive line, it wasn't good at all, at all. So that's why I like last year, I was optimistic about I was optimistic. I think we could have went 8-8. I still think if Joe Burrow didn't get injured, I think it has a shot at going 8-8 or awful daggone close, But we'll see what happens. Natty, I'm cautiously optimistic with the Bengals. I'm all in, brother. Now, do I think we're going to win the division? It's going to be really hard because the Clowns and the Ratbirds are really good. I mean, they are. They are really good. And I've said this a million times. I will take my chances. If we can stop the run, I'll take my chances on Baker Mayfield and Lamar Jackson beating us. Now, Lamar Jackson, the other thing, too, with him, he's a runner. So they got if you guys remember, the first game against the Ratbirds last year, Lamar Jackson didn't run that much on us. And I think they had Darius Phillips out there locking them down, if I remember right. So there's a scheme that Armadillo has that worked. Now, we didn't stop the run. We stopped Lamar from running on us. We didn't stop the running backs from running on us. But if you got DJ Reader, Ogunjobi, Mike Daniels, Big Daddy Bayou, that's a pretty big beef right there. And some guys who can play. So we got a really good shot at stopping the run. I'm still holding out hope that we re-sign Geno. I'm thinking less and less is going to happen, but that'd be nice just to have him. I miss him. Oh, yeah, you're right, Chris. We also got Mike Hilton, and he's going to be coming in on the blitz. He's one of the best blitzing corners. So that's another good weapon that they have. And I'm really, really curious how Lou is going to use him, you know? Yeah, I'm really curious about that because he's never had somebody like that. So he's got guys on this defense that he's never had. Now most of them are not proven guys. I mean, DJ Reader is. Hendrickson, he had 13 sacks last year, and a lot of them, they call them were cleanup sacks, which I'll take a cleanup sack. We need somebody to go in there and put pressure on them. Maybe Hubbard and Hendrickson cleans it up for the other side. That's fine. But if Hendrickson can come here and get 13 sacks, that would be huge. Absolutely ginormous if he can come back to back-to-back seasons of 13 sacks. And the key is they have got to stay healthy. They were so injured last year. It was ridiculous. And I don't know if that is conditioning or what. And one thing I thought was interesting, and I think this is a good thing. Now, I know Denijay already got hurt. He got hurt working out. Same thing that Trey did last year. Tore his pec lifting weights. But anyway, you know how he had 100% participation in OTAs. Jesse Bates is one of the union reps for the Bengals. Negotiated what they would do at practice with Zach Taylor to try to not have as many injuries, because I think a lot of the reason, my personal opinion, a lot of the reasons that the Bengals had so many injuries last year is because they didn't have a normal offseason. They didn't really hit this time, but they're going to hit in training camp. They didn't really hit in training camp. They didn't really do a whole lot. It was, it was not in person. It wasn't a lot of touching. Kind of hard to play football when you don't touch each other. So I've said this before, the best way to get in shape for football is to play football. Your body, the only way to get used to getting hit is to get hit. So that's where I think part of the problem was with the Bengals last year is why they got so many injuries, because of the offseason and how messed up it was. And I think that was across the board the NFL. There's some pretty good injuries last year because of that. All right, let's get back into the chat. Like I said, there are live video chats. I think it's posted at the top of the YouTube channel. Also, we're doing super chats in the YouTube channel. So if you guys would like to support what I'm doing here, I appreciate it. You can give me a super chat and I'll pop you to the top of the list. All right. Let's see here. Natty says, do you think the future is going to be more two-way players like, Shohei Ohtani? I doubt it, dude. To be honest, that dude is that's once in a lifetime. What that guy's doing. I mean, the ball he hit at Yankee Stadium, I think it was 105 miles an hour out of or something like that. That's how hard he hit the ball. I can't see this becoming a normal thing. I mean, Michael Lorenzen has tried to do it for the Reds, and he's somewhat successful at it, but nowhere close to Shohei. That dude he's just got God-given ability. He can pitch and hit. I mean, most of the time, what pitchers can hit? If you got a good hitting pitcher, he's hitting $125 or whatever, or maybe 200. That's a good hitting pitcher. Shohei's killing the ball. So I don't see this. I think that there's going to be guys trying to do it. I mean, Hunter Green, he was a shortstop. He could have tried to do it, but the Reds have just put him down as a pitcher. They haven't even tried. And that's the thing is, I don't see Major Baseball teams taking a chance on, if you draft a guy who's really good at hitting and pitching, they usually make you choose, because it's really, really hard to do both. It's really hard to be great at both of them, and you can get injured doing it. I mean, Shohei, he had Tommy John? I think he had Tommy John surgery. He injured his arm not that long ago. So I think it's more of an epiphany than a thing that's going to happen more often. I mean, it might happen again, but there's not going to be a lot of guys, I think, can do it. Jake, I like Reds more. I like the Reds. I hope the Reds are. I hope the Reds do better. They're taking on the Padres again tonight. Now, one thing was, I give credit to the pitching for the Reds last night. They left the Padres, had the bases loaded, I think, 4 times. And the Reds bullpen and the pitching staff shut them down and kept them loaded. Nobody scored. I think they left, I don't want to say 14. I saw 14 to 28 runners. I think 28 runners is awful high, but they left a lot of runners on last night. So the pitching staff pitched good enough to win. The offense just couldn't get over that hump, It was, and that's where I love this team. That's where it's also frustrating. I love the fight. And I saw in one of these Reds groups, I can't remember if it was Cincinnati Reds riding third and heading for home or not, but somebody said, well, we all know that they're not going to sign Nick. We might as well, go for it or just trade Nick and get as much as we can for him. I don't believe that. And to me, it would be a huge mistake not to sign Nick Castellanos. Now, if he wants, Trevor Bauer money, then we can't do that. And I don't think he does. I don't know. Just a gut feeling I have. I don't think he does. I think he knows we can win here. I think that's more important to him than making as much money as he can. Just from stuff he said, because he said, I wanted to come here. He didn't have to come here. He's a free agent. He could have signed for whoever he wanted. I just have a feeling, I think he might opt out if the Reds don't re-sign him. But I think there's a chance that the Reds could sign him. I'm hoping there's a chance the Reds could sign him. Because that's a dude you want to build your ball club around. Him and Jesse Winker. We got 2 guys who have a very good shot of starting in the All-Star game. 2 guys that are probably going to finish in the top 5. Hopefully one of them will win it in the National League MVP. Those are guys, they're young. They're not old. They're young. I mean, I think Castellanos might be 28. But still, that's not that old. That's just hitting your prime. That's just getting going. And the way they play, the way they hustle, their attitudes, those are guys you want to build your ball club around. And I'm not saying sign him to 10 years like you did Joey Votto. I'm not saying do that. Sign him, a 3-year contract, 4-year contract, something like that. Make sure he's here, because Moose is still here. He's got a 3-year contract. He's still here for 1 more year. We got guys that aren't, most of them are still under contract. So the window for this team to win is still there, which that's what kills me when you go and you make all these offseason moves 2 years ago and okay, we got this guy signed, this guy signed, this guy signed. Okay, we had this window of time to win. And then the next year you do nothing to help or add on to it. Then how do you expect your team to win when you have big holes in it? I'll never understand that at all. It drives me insane that the Reds did this. It's unbelievably frustrating. But I don't agree that the Reds, put it this way, if the Reds trade Nick Castellanos, they're going to lose a lot of fans. I'm telling you, Bob, I know you're watching me. I know you watch Strawberry every day. You need to re-sign him. You need to, first of all, you need to go get some bullpen help because you need to show him that you want to win and you're doing everything you can to win. That's what needs to happen. So hopefully after this All-Star break, maybe the Crawl can talk to some other players and maybe not the other players, other GMs, and maybe get some trade talk going or something because it's going to start happening here pretty quick. Jake, you don't like Bob Castellini. I did at first, and I liked him the last 2 years. I don't like him right now because he won't spend any money because we have a really good ball club. It's very frustrating. I just keep saying it's very frustrating over and over and over again. But it's fun. I mean, I'd rather have a team like this than watch them go out there and get their head kicked in every single day. So it's fun. They have a chance to win every single night. They expect to win every single night. And that's the attitude that Nick Castellanos and Jesse Winker and all these guys bring. I mean, and we got rookies, Jonathan India, Stevenson. Those guys are killing the ball. So, I mean, for people who say the rebuild didn't work, bullcrap. The rebuild did work, not to the extent of the Houston Astros and the Cubs where we got multiple, young players and all that stuff. We got enough, And I'll put it to you this way, and I hate the Tweety Birds, but I respect how they run their team. They mix and match and add players. They don't ever just rebuild. Because to me, rebuilding doesn't always work. You can't sit there and say, oh, we're just going to rebuild and in 5 years we'll be good. You don't know that. Nobody knows that. All of a sudden you can predict the future and, wow, we're going to be great in 5 years. How? You got a good team now. Let's go win. I like that. All right, Jake, what do you got here? Who's a worse owner, Mike Brown or Bob Castellini? Wow, that's... I'll put it to you this way. Mike Brown always gets banged on. Well, let's look at the playoff record. Or not playoff. Who's went to the playoffs more? And since Bob Castellini bought the team. Bob Castellini bought the team, I think, in 03, 04, somewhere around there. So they went to the playoffs in 2010. The Reds went to the playoffs in 2010. Went in 12 and 13. And, okay, last year. So 4 years. And he's owned it since, let's say, 04. Mike Brown took over in 1991. Now, how many times did they go to the playoffs? Well, let's just forget the 90s. We know the 90s. The 90s wasn't good at all. Since Marvin Lewis got here. Marvin Lewis went, I'm guessing, 7 times. I know he didn't win, near to the Reds. So if you go by that, and to me, winning is everything. I'm a fan of these teams, ride or die, but I want them to win. So winning is everything. And winning, I don't know, they didn't win a playoff game, but they went to the playoffs. So having winning seasons. So I think so I put this since Cassidy bought the team in 04. So let's go from 04 to now. I think Mike Brown's been a better owner. I mean, he's had more winning seasons than Bob Castellini has. If somebody out there could actually look it up and let me know, that's a great question, though, Jake. That is a great question. That's kind of thinking, talking out loud. But if you go from when Bob Castellini bought the team, like I said, it's 04. I think it was 04 or the winter of 05, somewhere right around there. So you go from 05 for the Bengals, which they had a really good year that year. They went to the playoffs. That's when Carson hurt his knee. If you start in 04 with the Bengals, they were 8-8. Still better record than the Reds. If you want to go by that, you said it was 06 they bought the team? Really? I thought it was 04 or 05. Because when did they trade? Because I remember them they traded Austin Currens and who else to the Washington Nationals and got those 2 relievers that stunk. I swore that was in 05. And Castellini owned the team then because that was when Kripke owned a team. Or, was a GM. So maybe that's it. Maybe, Jake, maybe you're right. I don't know. But either way, all right, let's go for 06. 06, still, Mike Brown's got a better record. So if you're going to go that way, neither one of them have been great. To be honest. Neither one of them. We don't have a playoff win. We ain't got no World Series championships. We don't have a Super Bowl. So neither one of them have been great. They've been average to below average, to be honest. But if you're comparing them, you have to go with Mike Brown. Chris, Indy is the real deal. Yes, he is. And I love Jonathan Indy at the leadoff spot. And I'll give credit to David Bell for that. And you guys hear me a lot, especially last year. I banged on David Bell. I'm not banging on him this year. I think he's done a hell of a job coaching or managing. I really do. With what he's been given, I don't like how he doesn't play Shogo, but other than that, I really don't have a whole lot to complain about. I really don't. I mean, yes, there's times he pulls pitchers a little too early to go to the bullpen, but not that much. I mean, he could have pulled. I mean, if Santillan had struggled like that in David Bell's first year, he wouldn't have made it out of the first inning. David Bell would have went to the bullpen. He let him throw 75 pitches in 3 innings. So, do I hate Mike Brown? No, I don't hate Mike Brown. Heck no, I don't hate Mike Brown. His dad's the reason we have the Bengals. I do not hate Mike Brown. I think Mike Brown is a very nice man, and I really do think Mike Brown wants to win. I think in the past he didn't know what it took to win. I think he's slowly but surely figuring it out. I also think Katie, his daughter, has a lot to do with what's going on here lately. So, no, I do not hate Mike Brown. I don't hate anybody. I like everybody. I get frustrated with him. Yeah, I get frustrated. I don't even hate Castellini. I'm frustrated with him, but I don't hate him. They're the owners of my favorite team, so no. Marvin, I want to sweep the North. Yeah, me too. Sit out the first round. Wild card, beat the Bills and the Chiefs in the division rounds. Beat the 49ers in the Super Bowl. Not much to ask. Nope, not at all, brother. To be honest, I don't want to play the 49ers, the sucky Niners. When we go to the Super Bowl, I want to play somebody else. I'm tired of playing the 49ers. We played them twice, and it's not that I'm scared to play them. I just want to play somebody else. I don't want to play the sucky Niners again. I would like to play some other team, But, yeah, I mean, I'd love to sweep the North, too. Yeah, that's not much to ask for. I think it's definitely doable, Marvin. I think it's definitely doable. We'll find out, but I cannot wait. We are almost to July, people. July, the end of July starts training camp. We are 3 weeks away from the first teams reporting to camp. I cannot freaking wait. Now, I know people asked what training camp's going to be like. Are they going to let fans in? People ask me that. I don't know. I have not heard anything. I'm assuming they're going to let us. I mean, worst case, you can go on the bridge and watch, But I'm assuming they're going to let us down there and watch some of it. But as far as I know, nothing has been announced as to what training camp is going to be like or anything. But if they let me watch, I will be down there at some point to watch my boy Jackpot Joey freaking Burrow. All right. It's almost 6:30. Let's get to the get to the Facebook groups that let me live stream, and I appreciate every single one of them. They are Houday Nation, Bengals Nation, Cincinnati Bengals, the Jungle, Bengals, Houday Nation, Bearcat Country, Ohio State Bucknuts, the Ice Bar, which is my show page. You guys can join that if you want. You can follow me on all my social media platforms, all of them under Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm on Facebook, Twitter. Twitter handle is Jeff A. Trennepohl. That's TRENNEPOHL. And I got a question. You guys can tweet me this out if you want. Do you think I should change my Twitter handle? Should I just make it at the Iceman? Which I don't even know if I even get that handle. I might not be able to. Because that's my handle on TikTok. So I'm on TikTok. It's at Iceman90. I'll be pulling a sound off later on today, put it on the podcast. You guys can check it out on Spotify, BeanPod, Apple iTunes, pretty much wherever you get your podcast. Please make sure you like, rate, and review. Give me a 5-star review. Give me a comment. Tell me if you like the show. Tell me what's going on. YouTubers, like I said, I'm ecstatic. It is the middle of the summer, and I'm still adding people. That is awesome. I'm at 1,232 people. That is huge. I appreciate it. Please tell your friends. Please tell your neighbors. Tell everybody about Sports and Strawberry Ice. I'm working on trying to get some more interviews here. Like I said, I was on vacation, and I was just on vacation. I just chilled, and I've gotten back home, so it takes a little while to get back into the swing of things. I'm starting to message people again. Jeremy D's got a couple things in the works. I got a couple things in the works. We will see what happens. We will have some good interviews here in the next couple weeks, I promise. So make sure you guys keep watching the show, telling everybody about the show, joining the show. Because it's a fun show. I enjoy doing this. I'm glad you guys like watching me, listening to me. I really do appreciate it a lot. But other than that, as my boy, Jeremy D, who might be on the show tomorrow, I don't know. You'll have to wait and see. Always says, remember one thing and one thing only. And that is, you don't live in Cleveland. You live in Cincinnati, so act like it. Who dey? Go Reds. Let's get this win. Let's split. Split the series. Let's get a win against the West. That would be awesome. Going to All-Star break, I would love it. And other than that, that's just sports, baby. See ya!